Yo, welcome back to the channel. This is a 1985 C10 Chevy pickup that I just acquired because I sold my second Gen Cummins, my daily driver, and I bought this, a almost 40-year-old pickup that needs a full interior, has no wheels and tires, and a whole other list of stuff that needs done. So what could go wrong? You might recognize this truck if you've been around here before. That's because the last 2 years it's been sitting on this side of the shop, and it's been in the background of many videos. I did in fact buy this truck off my dad. He's been swamped with his other projects, the Humvee and the CJ behind me here, and he wasn't really finding time for the truck. So we made a deal, and here it sits. Now you could almost argue that I'm buying this truck sight unseen. Dad doesn't remember too much about what the previous owner told him. The build sticker is still intact in the glove box from when this truck was original. It came with a 305 engine, and Dad thinks he remembers the guy telling him he dropped a crate motor in it. That's one of the things we'll do today. We're gonna look for the casting numbers and see what kind of engine's in it. Pretty sure it's 350 though. Crawl underneath, because neither of us know what kind of transmission's in it. Dad doesn't remember. I don't know if he even looked. And then it has a 10-bolt rear with an 8.5-inch ring gear. I'll take it back there eventually. For now, I'm gonna get myself into this engine bay and find that casting number. Usually they're on the driver's side cylinder head here at the back towards the firewall, and that should be a good amount of fun to try and read that. I'll try and get a camera in there. Got ourselves a light going in. Plenty of wires in the way. All right, I'm gonna get you down there and make you read it. Oh no, I can see it. It's upside down. GM 5.7. That is 350. Sweet. That's done. Let me get out of here. Gonna be honest, I'm a little bit surprised of our findings in there. Based on my extensively brief research, I thought it was gonna be a bunch of numbers that I then had to decode to figure out the engine, but it clearly says 5.7. So it's a 350. But if you have any insight, that would be greatly appreciated. Am I looking in the right spot? Is it a crate motor? Can you tell if it's a 4 or 2 bolt main based on the numbers? Let me know. Now that we have engine identification out of the way, we can go ahead and roll underneath and see what kind of transmission is behind the engine. If it's a turbo 350, it'll be a square transmission pan with a notch cut out of the one corner. It will look something like this. If it's a turbo 400, it's kind of hard to describe what it looks like, but it will look like this. Let's head underneath and find out. Now, rolling under here right away, I can already see that it's leaking transmission fluid. And we'll come under. That is in fact a turbo 400, which is a good sign. There you can see some drips on the bottom of the pan. Let's see if we can get a closer look. Another thing I'm noticing is there's supposed to be an inspection plate that goes right here. I'll have to order that because as you can see, the flywheel and the torque converter are exposed to the elements. Sorry, it's tight under here. These angles are whack, but I'm thinking it's just a pan gasket. It's dry up here. Good to know. Looks pretty good though. Some leakage back here too. Yeah, it's a good sign though. I'm gonna get out of here now. All right. Now we're around back, and I already knew it had a 10-bolt rear. I knew this because it has 10 bolts. But I also said it's an 8.5-inch ring gear. You can tell that on the 10 bolts because of the large ears that come off the bottom. It's a good rear to have, especially for a daily driver like it's gonna be, and that's that. We'll get out from underneath, check out some other stuff. Back around front at the engine bay, I'll show you everything it needs up here. Starting with a throttle return spring. It is completely rigged up with zip ties right now just so it'll idle nicely, but everything else is good to go. The clutch fan is very loose, so hopefully that's a pretty simple fix. Probably have to take off the shroud. It's gonna need a battery and fluid change, flush out the radiator, but that's really it under the engine bay. This thing is pretty solid and good to go. Now, without a doubt, the most work to be done will be in the interior. Let's have a look. It does have a seat. It's right here. It's gonna need door cards, both sides. This door is black. That one's red. Dad was halfway through switching this to a black interior, so I'm gonna continue on that. New dash pad, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff will be new on the inside. We're gonna paint all the red to be black. It's gonna be a good bit of work, but worth it, I think, in the end. But this carpet is in great shape. That will not need to be messed with. Just some paint, some new parts. The truck has dual fuel tanks, which probably don't work. That will need to be addressed as well. There's no radio. I got a lot of parts coming for the interior, but there are other concerns to be had though in the interior. Pretty sure speedometer doesn't work. We don't have any interior lights. The right turn signal indicator is on right there, but the old lever's in neutral. Turn signals don't work. Horn works. Blower doesn't work. So that should be a lot of fun. And right now I have the headlights on and those all work. Got a marker light out here. Switch to high beam. That seems to work how it should. So that could just be a bulb, hopefully. So there's fun to be had there with wiring, which is always a good time. And getting both dual tanks to work is a goal of mine. I was actually thinking about just unbolting the bed, taking it off. That way I have full access to both tanks and their pumps and the sending units, everything like that. Might make it a lot easier if I have to do some wiring, but definitely some wiring to be addressed on the inside. There are some imperfections, like on the roof. There used to be a visor here. I don't know if this leaks or not. Honestly, we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. And there's some chipping paint. This truck used to be red. Now it's like a satin black with a silver vinyl stripe. Now that's enough of giving the old girl a hard time of everything that's wrong, because there's a lot to love about this truck and plenty of silver linings. One would be the condition. You won't find any rust on this truck, on the body or frame. Everything is straight, no dents, nothing like that. It is in very good condition in that regard. Second would be the suspension components. The lowering kit looks nearly brand new. That hardware looks brand new. New shocks, same deal on the front. New brakes, new shocks, lowered, looks good. I'm not sure what kind of lowering kit this is. I have a picture I can post up right here, but I think it sits perfect. It's not too low, sits just right. Now it did have some wheels and tires on it. They're actually right here. Just some steel truck rallies that were not included in the sale, I guess, but I got some different ones coming that should look pretty good. Now moving on, besides the transmission leaking a little bit that we just found out, the transmission shifts fine. I drove this truck the other day with no seat, was fine. Shifts good, everything like that. Already has an exhaust. I don't know how I feel about the exit strategy, but maybe it'll grow on me. I'm not messing with it for now. And last but not least, this truck doesn't need any kind of motor work, any kind of carb work, fueling. It runs really good. Now settle down if you heard all that cling banging around. That was just that clutch fan I was telling you about. It's real noisy when the truck's running. Now that we got all that out of the way, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I just wanted to introduce you to the new project for the next couple weeks and what will be my daily driver. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I've got tons of parts coming for this thing, making videos on all of it. If you got any questions, drop them down below. Let me know. But thanks for watching. Take it easy. See you in the next one.